How would you know that?
I guess if your dad was a genius before, and then he's handing you like a Betamax tape, it's like,
Yeah.
something's wrong with my
Something's
dad.
wrong. Yeah, but it's very specific, considering that he didn't see his dad going to space. When he got blasted out of this
He
hole
might
that
have.
he made.
He might have, and just didn't talk to us about it, the viewer. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another Mobile Suit Gundam. Alright, so, starting off we have a comment, sorry, from Bruce Ingram from Time Be Still. People sometimes call it Gundam 79 because it came out in 1979. Same reason the creator set the story in UC 0079. Most of the silly-sounding names in Gundam don't have any meaning outside of Tamino seeing what he could get away with, since the sponsors didn't care about the content of the show outside of toy sales, which were not good for Clover, Bandai's model kits, and them buying Sunrise/Gundam came later.
I mean, we all know the show got canceled and then got, a couple more episodes to finish. Actually, more like 10 episodes to finish. So, it's a big run.
I mean, I always just remember the title of the Secret Galaxy video, the ratings failure that launched an empire.
It's all about that Gunpla, baby.
Well, now it is.
Yeah.
Since Bandai had a vision. Alright, well, we've got a board. And what's turning out to be is, unless the Federation starts introducing a lot more people,
yeah,
I'm going to have to start wrapping around rather than expanding downwards. Because, of course, we got, what? How many people did we add? 3?
Yeah, we have the Admiral, I think. He hasn't appeared yet.
What Admiral?
Oh, never mind.
Is that a spoiler?
It's minor spoiler.
Well, because I like things you're talking about Gop, and like Gop's been around for a couple episodes now.
Yeah, no. Well, we got Slugger Law.
Yeah, who I've added to the line of people on board ship. The thing
right.
about the line, because obviously that's the main green line here, is that when there are off-color lines coming off of it, that is just allies to the ship. Like Johann Abraham Revel has that light green line. He's not on the ship, he's an ally to the ship. Gop has that light green line, ally to the ship, not part of the ship. That's why Gop has his own lines with his own crew, everyone at that station.
He's just some Daikun.
Daikun.
I
don't even know who you're looking at, but I recognize that mispronunciation anywhere. And I guess otherwise, the 2 new people that Amuro has killed. Amuro is certainly an ace by now.
Oh, yeah.
Or a super ace.
Yeah, probably is in the... No, he's in the high 20s right now.
I don't know. Just about every X on this board is from Amuro. If it's on the left-hand side, it's mostly Amuro's, and I'm thinking that's more than 20.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Actually, I said ace.
You can probably get rid of maybe 5 of those for somebody else, so
20,
it's still over 20.
Yeah, it's like a quadruple ace.
Like I said,
compared
to a previous
to anime,
argument that we had before, that they should redefine what an ace is based off
not at this level, trust me. Compared to any other anime like Macross, for example, where one pilot can destroy like 12 or 15 targets.
Well, Roy had a kill count of over 200. I'm just saying that maybe an ace, because an ace should be a singular figure, not a thing that everyone can achieve.
Well, not everybody can.
Well, no, not everybody can, but an exceptionally large number of people have. We should redefine it. Like, if this stage of the game, that the technology is such that an exceptional figure can do it, and then a lot of people start doing it, you need to redefine. The same way that, the worldwide sports figures that are amazing at the game has to be redefined every generation or so because people are just getting fucking better. We need to keep the score chart good for everyone that's just getting better.
No, but the thing is that this is comparable. I mean, Roy is comparable to many German aces of World War II. Like the top Japanese aces, Imperial Navy aces, were I think one had 99 kills, another one had 93 or 91. I think the top German ace had over 300 kills. Um, top Russian ace had about 63 kills.
Here's my
but
problem with what you're saying is that you're bringing in real life stats, and I don't care about that because I don't want to denigrate like actual people that are doing it. I don't want to bring in actual people. I'm only talking about the fantasy world that is Gundam or Macross, which may be based on real life stuff. But again, if I start saying, nah, an ace isn't that or an ace isn't that, someone out there is going to be like, why are you shitting on X pilot who's done this and that? And like, no, I'm not talking about the real world.
But I don't think you're shitting on anybody.
No, you're not. You're not. But remember the paragraphs I get for talking about, the Japanese fighters that were still holed up after World War II because they didn't know the war was over. You fucking Americans don't know anything. Again, I don't want to talk about the real world in this case. I'm saying here, in this very specific view of the future, that in this 20, world... Yeah, but I guess my point of view is that we are rewarding them with a title for accomplishment that makes them exceptionally above everybody else. Mm-hmm. And in this world, there are a lot of people that are getting well beyond ace. So ace either should be moved out further. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just something that should be unbelievably hard. Like something that nobody is doing anymore. Maybe like one ace a year accomplishes. Or we make new titles. You know, he's not an ace mobile suit pilot. He's a hero mobile suit pilot. You know, something. He's got 200 kills under his belt.
Okay.
I mean, it might not for nothing. Like, if you're putting yourself in the world and you're like a Zaku pilot and you like got one, you're an ace. You're an ace Zaku pilot. You got one and survived. But
I mean, also the survival rates of a lot of people here just seem to be very low because for every Amuro out there, there's like dozens of pilots who just die.
Well, you have to
die like flies.
You have to be in order for Amuro to get that kill count.
So therefore, I think it still retains its power.
Well, the problem is that we're protagonist focused, so we see those characters that get those titles. Because, you know, on the bad guy side, same thing. We're only going to show you the major fights reoccurring with the characters that survive.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't hold any weight to me anymore, the idea of an ace, when consistently the people we follow are getting those. You know, it's going from, that guy's fucking amazing, he's an ace, to all of these people are aces. I think technically Kai is probably an ace. It's not for nothing, but he kills a lot of people without names, so they don't get tracked on the board or anything.
Yeah.
So literally everybody on the white base, there's probably gunners that have a kill count comparable to Kai and Hayato.
Usually gunners don't.
Yeah, I'm not. I didn't call them aces. I just said they have a comparable kill count. You know, it's just because white base. If you're on the white base along with, I don't know, 4 or 5 other main characters, you're golden. Nothing's probably going to happen to you.
A lot of people have died aboard the white base. So.
Yeah, not people with names though. That's my point. Like every so often we see like a hangar explode and there goes nameless.
Oh, Ryu had a name.
He didn't die on the white base though, did he?
It was a part of a battle and he was in white base. So
he wasn't in white base. He actually flew out of white base to get killed.
Okay, I'm gonna say this.
That's not pedantic. That is literally true. I said if you're on white base. I defined the term as on white base. And you named a guy who literally got into a jet and flew out of white base.
But
my point is that you're not going to destroy the white base with a large number of main characters on board. Usually that is the plot armor of the situation, that unless you're going to do a real hard right turn in the story, So long as you're next to a whole slew of named people, is probably where you're the safest. So they're not going to hit white base with a nuke, or the beam cannon isn't going to go right through the bridge when 5 of our main named characters are on the bridge.
Yeah.
That's why I mean on white base. When you're outside of white base, you are an individual unit in your own thing. So Ryu was, hands to the wind, just, defending myself here. Because I know you feel like I'm being pedantic, but that's literally the definition of my term that I tried to lay out. Ryu may have sacrificed himself for the white base, but he wasn't on the white base. Ryu sacrificed... Sorry, go ahead.
I'll leave it to the comments then.
Well, I mean, I don't care. I've said that 100 times. Comments hate me. I'm just saying, Ryu sacrificed himself for the white base is proof of the plot armor of the people on white base, because Ryu wasn't in it. Ryu had to sacrifice himself in order for them to have their plot armor. Alright, well, apparently we both have notes.
Yes.
You have a lot of notes or just a few notes?
12 notes.
I think I probably got about as many as that, but not a lot of mine aren't worth anything. So they'll just be a little, well, they're notes. They're little notes. Took a note of something. So, since you don't tend to typically have notes, you go first.
Oh, okay. Let's start with episode 31, because I always try to put my notes per episode. The initial battle with the new mobile armor clearly was 2 things. A time-filling measure, and a way to introduce a new toy. Because there's no reason for that battle other than that.
You're talking about Big Ro or the K-named one?
The named one, the yellow one with the...
Because that was episode 32.
That was episode 32?
Yeah, because that appears after Big Ro, because the guy in Big Ro is Dimitri, who's getting revenge for Tukawa, who died.
It is episode 32. The thing is that Crunchyroll, because when I rewatched it, doesn't do episodes.
Doesn't account for 15, because 15 isn't in the lineup.
Yeah.
So you're in same problem I have with Mushoku Tensei, because Mushoku Tensei's OVA episodes are like in episode 0, but sometimes they're counted in the lineup, so sometimes 1 isn't 1. So, yeah, no, I was just remembering, because I know I have a note specifically about that mobile armor. I don't know. Because the only thing I additionally know about that mobile armor is that it appears in the game Girin's Ambition, where you can apparently make a ton of them, in which case you'll see a background shot of a ton of them in the background, and one of them will be red, and one of them will be blue, with Rumble Rawl's like emblem on it or something.
In which case, I will not talk about episode 33, because that's the episode we're about to watch. So,
well, yeah, you should.
I only have six.
Are you?
Well, no, they'll be fine, because I'll have notes for the next time we talk about episode.
So what are you telling us right now? Are you telling us that you rewatched episode 33, an episode we're about to watch now, and took notes on it?
I took notes on it, thinking that it was the episode, because I forgot that in Crunchyroll they don't have Doan's Island.
So the interesting note here is that you watched an episode not realizing you'd not seen it last week.
Yeah, remember, I seen the whole series.
Right, but how long ago did you watch this whole series?
A long time ago.
Right, so you still watched an episode not realizing, I don't think we left off on this episode.
I've been watching so much anime right now. That
here's my concern, is that later today we're going to be watching Durarara episode 11, and I was just taking notes earlier, like just before we were recording, and I started watching it, and I got maybe like 5 minutes in, I'm like, I don't remember this. And I did a bunch of side research to make sure that I wasn't about to watch something before we had watched it.
I mean, I did tell you that I ended up watching an entire season of an anime, and it turned out to be the last season of the anime, which was the last part of it, and it was over. And I didn't realize that I missed the first 2 seasons. So this can happen.
To you. This can happen to you. I don't know. I got too questioning when I think something's wrong. Like, I have done plenty of times just watching the first episode. Oh, Crest of the Stars. Crest of the Stars starts off with their little like native language they make up for the show. All the characters are speaking it. There's no subtitles. Battle is happening, and I'm like, "Fuck, am I watching the wrong episode? The subtitles not on?" Skip to the few, get through like 5 minutes of that, and then it starts with like subtitles and everything like that. 'Cause they just don't introduce you to the fact they have their own language and everything. So yeah, no, I think I spent like 20 minutes figuring out that I was watching the right episode based on 5 minutes of bad content.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, bad content, but misinformed content. So I don't know.
So half of my notes are topical. I'll go through them.
I guess half of your notes will be for next time.
Exactly.
Well, I guess actually, technically, well, we're gonna watch. What are we watching? 32, is
Episode
it?
33.
33. We're about to watch 33. So next episode, you'll have notes.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it right after in the next recording. Weird. Anyway, you know everything that's about to happen. This is my takeaway. Anyway, my next note. A literal reading of the narrator's text from 2 episodes back would lead you to believe that Char was forced to retreat due to Kika, Let's, and Cats. A generous interpretation would be to say that they defeated Char.
I mean, the whole point was to make the whole thing about the episode, especially the narrator, is like, oh no, these characters are very important. They actually contributed, which is true. But I feel like it's one of those things that writers put in when they're getting a lot of hate mail or something. Like, what are these kids doing this shit? They shouldn't be there. It's like, well, I'm going to make an episode that says the kids are important. Which they were. I love Kika and the gang. I name the other kids, but I love Kika and the gang. And they did contribute. But I feel that, especially the narrator saying those things, is like, yeah, no, we read your letters, you motherfuckers. We don't. We actually read the comments. Leave us alone.
I'd remind you of in Gundam Seed, where they all complained about Kira and Flay sleeping together, and then they did the HD remaster, and the complaints, they like added more. We heard your complaints.
We noted the complaints, and we put a much longer scene to make you absolutely sure that yes, indeed, they boned.
All right, your next one.
Okay, my next one. I have to remember to keep it. Okay. Follow up to my first note. However, it reinforces the allegory of World War II Axis powers to introduce a slew of new equipment and wonder weapons to swing the tide of battle, but either this equipment proved to be inefficient, or was producing too small numbers to matter. In this case, the yellow magic ball was just the one experimental mobile armor that got blown up.
I mean, that's how Xeon R&D seems to work.
Yeah.
So the problem is that I've got notes about all that kind of stuff too, but you didn't make any notes about episode 31, which is where I'm at in my notes. So
yeah. Although, which is weird because we started the series with Saku 2s, which were rushed to productions, even though they're weaker than the original Sakus, because the Saku 2s were more, they're cheaper.
Right, so but we also started several months after the end of Origin.
Yeah. So.
All right. I'm not exactly sure how the white-based decoy plan is meant to go. It's heading semi-directly towards Solomon, a Xeon space fortress. At least that it is... 2 a.m. thoughts, right? At least in that, it is achieving satellite orbit and then following that to the fortress, where the T&M fleet goes to Luna 2 and then heads towards Solomon. The part that confuses me is that, ultimately, both forces are heading in the same direction. So, unless you were counting on the white base getting destroyed somewhere closer to the start of its journey, the forces attacking it would wind up right where the force it was decoying for are going as well. Really, white base should have headed straight for Solomon and then diverted once it was sufficiently under attack, drawing off some of the forces Solomon might have used in its defense or called upon for reinforcements.
I think the rendezvous in Luna 2, they don't really explain it, but I think it's just more than just that one fleet. It should be more than just.
No, they did say it's more than one fleet. We actually commented about it in the episode.
The idea might be that by doing the decoy, the it lessens the chance of Zeon trying to attack individual fleets before they merge together and defeat what's called defeat in detail. Like, okay, you have like 3 forces. Napoleon used to do this a lot. You don't fight them all when they get together because they're strongest. You attack one of them, defeat them in turn, right? So you break up their combined assault. If the idea is that Zeon is so obsessed with and not only obsessed with White Base, but also wherever White Base happens to be, because it's supposed to be like the most powerful ship the fleet has, that has to be the main effort, right? So it's like, oh, they're flying out of Jaburo. This is the main effort. Let's attack that before it's too late, right? And they don't get to rendezvous with other fleets, which means the attack then on Solomon will be weaker because of it.
I don't think it would be weaker. Well, it's weaker due to the writing of the show in that anything that fights White Base gets destroyed. But
no. People who attack White Base may or may not be destroyed, but the forces that are with White Base, especially Jaburo fleets, they would suffer casualties, right?
No, I'm talking about the losses to Zeon's side.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if there was just any other ship, the Zeon forces would get there, they'd fight with White Base, and then they'd make their way back to Solomon or be available for as reinforcements. Since you have half of the notes that I have, I'll just want to follow up real quick with like a secondary note that follows up on this one. Char says they have to pull off a preemptive strike in order to stop the White Base so that they can move on to take on the fleet that would obviously be launching from Jaburo that the White Base is playing distraction for, which had me wondering why they didn't just communicate with other Zeon forces. You know, the moon base they are heading towards, anyone on Earth, that space station we saw before. I have to assume it's a Minovsky particle situation, but we've seen in this war with those particles for a long time now. Sorry, we've been in this war with those particles for a long time now. You'd think we'd have developed something, even if it's just a high-speed message buoy to physically carry a message.
I think that's what laser comps are supposed to do. They can break through.
They did that in episode 32 with from between Tren and Char.
So they have to be in line of sight.
But I'm talking about you could literally just put it in a missile. You know, here's a physical message in a missile. Fire it off. We know.
I don't think a missile will fly really faster than a warship. You really think about it.
Well, it's a distraction play. They're sending a distraction fleet around. All we have to do is send this to the nearest base to let them know, hey, Jaburo is about to launch another fleet somewhere. Send another transmission from something that's not in the Minovsky particle field to let them know, hey, this is happening. Rather than just, hey, we're the only ones that know. Let's only act upon this information ourselves. Let's inform somebody else about what's going on. And we can't communicate outside of Minovsky field, so send a message buoy or something. It'll travel faster than a ship would, at the very least.
It's also, I think, he signals the fact that Char is obsessed with the Trojan horse, as he calls it. So he's going to do whatever it takes to destroy it, basically.
It just seems like bad. It just seems bad. I mean, I don't see any reason why not to communicate, hey, another fleet is going. Because Char isn't like... He's obsessed, but he's not unsympathetic to the Zeon soldier.
I have a note about that.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I'll wait until you get to there then. Assuming that I still even remember. But that was my thought. Go ahead.
Well, that's my third note. For all the attempts to make Char leader of men, his portrayal at this stage of the game is very inconsistent. First, he berates the second in command for allowing the mobile armor to go out, only to then say it didn't matter that it was destroyed because he didn't know its capabilities. In other words, at times, and this happens throughout every time Char's like, oh, I really care about the men under my command. I really like you. You're a cool guy. Oh, he died. Oh, I don't care. You know, he has that sort of flippant attitude where nothing gets to him. And if I were somebody in that bridge going like, what do you mean he died and you didn't care? What the fuck?
I think Dimitri was a special case operation because Dimitri was going out to get revenge for Takawa. And he's like... Yeah. Fine, sure. Because otherwise he was just angry that Dimitri had done this without orders, and then I think it's Millard,
who's
still back there, who's just like, oh, please let him go. he really needs this. He's in a hard way right now since Takawa died. And he's like,
Yeah.
fine, I guess. I didn't
Yeah, but
even
it's
know
not
that
the
ship existed, so it's fine.
yeah, but it's not the first time that happens. It's like, oh well, these guys, I'm gonna take care of these guys. So in the beginning, he was very much like, I'm gonna protect the guys that are with me and stuff like that. And Nato was like, oh, they died.
Well, I never
Oh
read it
well.
as like, I'm gonna protect these guys. It's always been oh man, this isn't their fault. Oh well, they're
Yeah.
dead. And he
But later
often
on,
like voices some signal of regret from like, I wish I wasn't sending people out to die like this. It's never been like I'm gonna protect everybody under me. It's like, they do what they do, but I wish they didn't.
it's like, he's like, and if I were there going like, so what's gonna happen to us?
Well, I mean, if I was under
Yeah.
Char's command, right? If I was on the bridge, I would get the message I would be receiving is, "Don't do stupid shit, and you probably won't die." Like, stay near this guy, but not too close. Like, not like base infiltration close. Those guys die. But
Yeah, it's like
if
everybody.
you're on the ship that he's on, probably good because he's not making stupid decisions. The Dimitri
So,
thing was like, Dimitri's in real trouble when if he gets back. Thank God he didn't get back though, because that would have been court martial, which is paperwork.
yeah, and it's like, and looking to the other guys, like, how many people have died on this command? A lot. Shit.
To be fair, a lot of people have died under everyone's command.
Yeah.
You gotta be going out there launching as like a Xeon, I'm saying initiate, as
Yeah,
a,
but the
as
thing
a
is,
Xeon
like,
trainee, and you gotta know.
Char always comes back alive, and everyone else who goes out with Char doesn't. It was like, he always goes back alive. Yeah, I know. How the fuck? Well, he's pretty good. What about everybody else?
I mean, to be fair, once again, to be fair though, every mission Char undertakes has to look from the other side like some death-defying. He went up against the Minotaur and came back. The Gundam fucking killed everybody it ever went up against. But every one of Char's group doesn't come back. Well, sometimes some of them do. Millard has been around for a while.
Yeah,
Tren was around for a while. But even Char comes back missing limbs off of his mobile suits. It's like, man, he was the last one that got out. And clearly, it's not like he was sitting in the back not doing anything. He comes back damaged too. So yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I think Char is consistent. He's just wishy-washy about it. Like, I wish these guys didn't have to die, but I'm not actively protecting them. I'm not their dad.
yeah.
They signed up for a war. We're all in this war together.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give them the right commands, but if they just like die, they die. Ivan Drago. He's Ivan Dragoing it.
Yeah.
If he dies, he dies. Gop clearly doesn't have accurate intel, as he states that Zeon is running low on resources and is counting on this attack draining Zeon's resources to the point that they would call for peace. According to McQueeve, just 6 episodes ago, the resources they sent to space from the mines would be enough to supply Zeon's war effort for the next 10 years.
Yeah, but I think resources are not just a matter of what mines is. I think it's also manpower. And clearly the Zeons have taken a lot of casualties.
I mean, yeah, that could be an interpretation. If I was going to be generous in my interpretation for Gop, it would be that maybe McQueeve sent everything to Solomon.
Yeah.
So taking Solomon would be taking those 10 years of resources. But it didn't read that way to me. It just seems
resources
like
can be more than just people. He doesn't specifically talk about manpower, but I think it clearly is a manpower thing because, I mean, both sides are taking casualties, but the Federation just keeps having more people. Oh, we have more people to send, and they're like,
I mean, so does Zeon. There's not like no given number to it, other than Giran's speech early on.
I mean, remember when they were low on resources to attack Jaburo? They had to pull troops from somewhere else, and they already lost.
They didn't say that they were low on resources. He said he was attacking with not enough resources. But I read that as indicative of what he was up to, not that they didn't have the resources. Like, I know I'm attacking them with not enough people.
Yeah, but you
okay,
would think
why?
Well, yeah, it's such an important base, then you would think protect with more. I mean, it is the base.
I mean, to your read on Char earlier, maybe he was just going for the glory.
Yeah.
Who knows, right? Maybe if I succeed with less than I needed, maybe I'll get to congratulation by Giran, and that'll be when I can shoot him in the face. You know, basically the Ramba approach of if I get promoted, my men get promoted, and then you get to, bump elbows with the Zabi family and do whatever the fuck you're gonna do, Haemon.
Yeah. Okay. Dren says that he will use the same strategy as Char, except that none of the Char strategies, or should I say tactics, have ever really worked against Amuro and White Base. Then again, few ever had, at least not for long.
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to think which strategies of Char's have ever worked, and it's like the one on Garmo worked pretty well.
Yeah.
Not that I guess Dren would know that.
Yeah. Luna too kind of worked. Well, worked on Luna too. It didn't work on the White Base though. Ultimately,
I mean, as far as I know, maybe there's stuff that Char's been doing off screen. You know, like when he left the water base and he flew off for the entire episode.
Yeah.
Maybe he did some sort of like 3 Messiah attack on a thing in space that we never saw. It was like, oh, that's pretty good. I'll remember that for the future, said Dren.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, also several months of shit happening between Origin, where Dren was with Char, and this, where Dren was with Char still, so I don't know. So far, 2 episodes with the guy. Sliger Law ain't no Roy Fokker. I don't know if he gets better or not, but he ain't good now.
I think he has the same. He sounds like the same voice actor in Japanese. I'm not sure. Maybe or not.
Well, we know that Roy Fokker was inspired by Sliger Law.
Yeah.
So one was doing better than the other. But again, I don't know if this guy gets better, but he ain't good now. I don't like Sliger Law.
Okay. Now, during the same battle, Hayato and Kai have been in many battles, yet they split up instead of supporting each other. No explanation is given except that the new lieutenant, Sliger Law, is jumping the gun and they don't want him to kill Steel. I thought that was kind of dumb.
I don't think it's dumb. They do that in regular battles.
Yeah.
They split up in regular battles. It's just something that they've always done.
Yeah, but usually it's because the enemy's coming from from another location. But in this case, they were the ones attacking, and Zeta says stick together, because we got to protect each other, right? Because we're out there by ourselves, don't get surrounded. And what triggers it is like this guy starts shooting up at very long range. Like, oh, I guess I see a target. She starts shooting at long range. It doesn't hit anything, right?
Well, that was Slugger shooting at super long range, so he was was already.
And the other one's like, hey, just like, don't do. She basically says, don't do that, and it's like, well, if he's gonna do that, then I'm gonna go this way. And then it's only when Sayla shows up, it's like, well, listen, we gotta back them up, or they're gonna be dead. It's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Again, it's their normal everyday tactics. Like they're shitting on Char for Dren emulating his tactics. This is the shit they've been doing the entire time. I'm not gonna shit on them for doing what's apparently worked the whole day. But even if Slugger interjects, it'd be a better idea if we all fought together. Sure, why not? Maybe. Welcome to the team. It feels like the flaw in Xeon R&D is that they are doing their damnedest to try and prove that mobile armor is better than any mobile suit, all the while the Gundam is handing them their asses.
Yeah, again, the sort of super weapon thinking as well, right? Mobile armors are bigger, they have more weapon systems, they're flashier, right? They're seen as the next big thing, right?
Well, they're more resource intensive. It definitely feels
that
like.
Too.
But
yeah, that too.
To all of the mobile armors that have almost taken on the Gundam, say McQueeve's thing from back at the mine, or the Big Rao here, that's 2, versus every goof that's almost taken out the Gundam, which is, I feel like, less resources than a Big Rao.
That's far more damage, to be sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is there's a mobile suit out there that's handing you your ass every fight, and you're like, mobile armor's the way. Every mobile armor has been destroyed. I mean, clearly the Rick Dom wasn't the way to go either, because those things just got blown up too. They're clearly better than the normal Doms, but I can't say they're still better. They're better than Goofs. The Goofs still seem to have been best.
Yeah. So my next note then. My final note for this episode, and for now, Dren would have survived and possibly been captured if the Zeons like the Federation wore spacesuits into battle. And yes, I know the crew of the White Base is not wearing any during this episode, or that spacesuits don't protect you from getting shot in the face by a mobile suit scale weapon, but it can protect you from vacuum.
Yeah, I was about to say that Dren didn't get shot in the face. I did think of something just tangential to what you're saying, and I'm also trying to remember the last time we saw anybody on the Federation side wearing a spacesuit, because it's been fucking forever since we've seen the inside of any other ship. It seems like they've got an infinite supply of beam sabers.
Yes, I noted that too.
Because he stabs something and it always explodes. He's always got another one though.
No, he just leaves it. He just doesn't stab and take it out.
No, that's what I'm saying. He stabs it and it explodes.
Yeah.
So it's clearly exploding with it. Otherwise, they're made of invincible material. I guess technically it's just the Amuro-sized hilt, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it's the easiest thing to replace.
They have an armory full of... It's like having an armor full of lightsabers, right? It's like, yeah.
So I guess we can blame this death on Char as well.
Oh, he didn't arrive on time either.
No, I don't mean that. So. You remember back in Origin? When the Black Tri-Stars, who were wearing spacesuits, by the way, get on him for not wearing one, and he's like, what's it matter? If the thing blows up, I'm dead anyway. But I feel like Dren kind of is second in command the whole time. He's learned that lesson somehow. Well, what's it matter? If they shoot the ship, I'm probably dead anyway. Standing there looking out into space for like the 3 seconds he has. I should have worn my spacesuit.
No, man,
I remember when they captured Rebel, he was wearing a spacesuit. So Sayla thinks Char is wasting his life trying to get revenge on the Zabi family, and won't sit back and let him do so. But to what end at this point? It feels like it would be a waste of his life to do anything else. I understand that this could all appear as a sunk cost fallacy, but the fact that he's worked against the Federation all this time, I'd have to feel like taking him away from the life he's lived up to until now would come with some heavier consequences than pursuing this life further would. Where are you going to
go? I mean, I guess he would have to surrender to the Federation. The Federation might not, unless there's a peace treaty and he surrenders to the Federation, he becomes a prisoner, or he might be, well, he wasn't involved in Operation British, so.
I forgot what his nickname was. Not Red Comet, the thing he got from Loom.
I don't remember.
My thing is I'm remembering Mula Flaga from Seed now, because Mula Flaga earns the Hawk of Endymion, which is comparable to the title that Char gets at Loom, and I can't remember what the Loom title was.
Yeah, no, he was always a Red Comet, but I think, eventually the war's over, they just let him go, and then he had nothing to do, right? The thing is...
They don't let the guy go. The guy is the #1 ace pilot.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter, because if the war's over, what are you going to do with the guy? The reason why
I assume he gets executed before the war's over. You bring him to a court-martial. Get executed for his crimes. Oh, I don't know. How about the children that he's killed? He's literally shot retreating civilians. Like, we saw that when all the old people try to get let loose on White Base, he pops his head up, bam, bam. He kills a couple of civilians. Gotta believe that's not the first time. You don't cross that line easy, and he didn't hesitate.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe they review the footage of White Base's view of the whole Garma fight and come up with some new details. I don't know. There could be a lot of people gunning for Char.
Yeah. More likely than not, the Zabi family would want him, if they survive, to...
How about they do a DNA test and find out he's not Char Aznavour?
Well, in that case, that's not his fault either.
Is it not his fault? I don't know. Why did you take the name? How did you know that kid was gonna die? Is that the first kid you killed? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He's guilty of a lot of shit to a lot of people. He's living literally his best life. If he goes anywhere else, he's fucked. Oh, you said that was your last comment already?
Yeah.
Note rather.
The other one, yeah.
All right, I got more. Be careful. If you get too close, they could take us both out at once, said Amuro to Sayla, but also every Zaku pilot to every other Zaku pilot.
Yeah. I mean, we now seen like multiple shots. Like Sayla takes at least two rig doms in one single shot. So,
well, I mean, that was the first time that's happened. But
yeah,
just the commentary that Zaku's are sitting on nuclear reactors. I don't know if it's intentional or not with Slegger, but the lack of discipline among the crew that I've been half joking, half complaining about, really seems to come to a head when it comes to Slegger. He seems like an embodiment of Amuro and Kai's attitudes. Consider the higher-ups, consider the white base an annoyance, and gave it decoy duty. I have to think Slegger was a problem for his previous deployments as well, and this was their solution to getting rid of him.
Yeah. I don't know, but also I think I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here.
There was a conversation between Gop and what's the other weird mustache guy on Jaburo, where they say that white base is an annoyance because every time it shows up, there's a problem.
That's protagonist syndrome, I guess.
Right. That's what I'm indicating with when they find it annoying. And that's why they assign it decoy duty. We never did get Kai's long story about what took the gun cannon so long to launch.
He was taking it. Was he taking a shower? I think he was taking a shower.
No, that was before.
Yeah.
Where they couldn't find him or where he was or something like that.
Yeah.
But
all the guys went to have a shower with Slugger for some reason. All at once.
It's just that Kai, the guy is like, "Why haven't you launched?" It's a long story. And we joked that we weren't going to get that long story, and we didn't.
Yeah. Not important right now.
By the way, radio's not being blocked during the fight with the Big Ro, as Amuro and Kai were talking to one another. So nothing's stopping Amuro from warning Sayla that he's about to shoot missiles at her to redirect her trajectory. Does he, though? No. Just shoots at her, and it's a job well done for Amuro. Can you imagine how he'd flip out in the earlier episodes if someone had done that to him?
Oh, hell yeah.
I'd say, would have been nice. I mean, wouldn't have changed anything, but, would have warned Sayla, hey, you're about to get shot at.
Yeah.
I guess the beam sabers are stronger than the beam rifle, despite the rifle having equivalent firepower to a battleship. I'd have thought that if the shielding of the Dimitri's mobile armor was powerful enough to deflect the beam rifle blasts, then the beam saber should have diffused against it as well. Either way, I just hope that isn't a one-and-done technology. Like, one side should start coating shields with it. Can you imagine if the Gundam shield had that and it just reflected blasts against it instead of just, I don't know, getting punctured like it seems to?
Or cut, or blasted.
Well, I don't imagine it would stop getting cut. We just showed that the beam saber goes through it material.
Yeah.
But that would still prevent, like, I don't know, some Zaku technology. I mean, the Zakus still use, like, slug throwers.
Machine guns, yeah.
But, I mean, there is a lot of beam weaponry going around these days, and be nice. I mean, you can still coat it, and it would still be as powerful to the slug throws. It'd be like an ablative armor. So there's still use for this shit, not because it lost once to a beam saber. Alright, my last note here. Dren's only mistake was that he lacked plot armor. The Trojan horse has the most main characters on it, so no amount of commands would have gotten it destroyed, despite having it outnumbered in mobile weaponry and ships.
True enough.
In a reasonable situation, Dren should have won.
But we can't have that.
If the Zabi family was on Dren's ship, I think Dren would have won. Or would have been forced to retreat or something, I can't remember the name of the flagship.
The Great Zabi. I think it's the Great Zabi.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. Anyway,
It does, but
I
it
remember
isn't.
it from Origin, though.
Yeah. No, it's a Great Deadwing. The Great Deadwing is the name of the ship.
Well, either way.
Either way, it's a terrible name, but it's very egotistical. It's like, oh, the Great Deadwing. It's like, so you name your ship after yourself and added a great to it as well? Like, well, not simply the Deadwing, which is a very important person. No, it's the Great Deadwing. Just so you know what we're talking about here.
I mean, it makes sense, because I remember the thing that hits me a lot from the first episode, that didn't hit me a lot, it's just something that pops in my head, is the people going down the streets firing guns in there, Long Ling Devon Zabi! So it's like a name.
Yeah, but it's and he is technically the monarch, right? The leader of the leader of the country and the embodiment of the, because that's how monarchies are supposed to work, that the monarch is the embodiment of the nation state, not merely its leader. But still,
I think it only sounds dumb because we think his name is dumb. Because literally, if you're in the universe and you're like one of those guys, Long live Dagwin Zombie, you love the guy. You love the guy, you love the name. So when you're shouting out names of ships on the battlefield, where's the Dagwin? Where's the great Dagwin? You know, that's a thing you feel proud about.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Bismarck, right? I mean, it's not as dumb as the Great Bismarck, but
it's not that great, you know. The Grass Fay is not the great Grand Grass Fay either, right?
Or, you know, the Yamato. Like, you know, I guess it rings to, like, Dragon Ball Z abridged in my head.
Yeah.
You know, the Guru, Super Kami Guru. Oh, he's calling himself God now, is he? They'll call me Kami Guru. No, Super Kami Guru.
If this were the abridged version, it's like the Dagwing. No, it's not the Great Dagwing. It's the Great Dagwing. Oh shit! Let's get out of here. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's not so terrible thinking about it for a minute, but
it's still kind of funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got. You have anything else?
No, that's it for now.
Let's go ahead and hop on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Slightly concerned that you tried counting with me and your count was off.
No, because it defaulted again to English. I'm like, every time I had some.
Oh, didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I tried doing what you do, which you listen in English, take the notes, but I found the voice acting, it's not bad, but off-putting to what I expected, because I've been listening to Japanese voice acting for like, well,
I've commented about that in this show, and I don't have that much of a problem with this show. I think it's more of a problem with newer shows. I think my example typically is going to be like Mushoku Tensei again, where, okay, knowing nothing about Mushoku Tensei, this is going to sound really weird, but he gets over his erectile dysfunction problem, right? And then the cat girls at the school notice he has a different smell about him. And one of them makes a comment about everyone getting pregnant after this. And but in English, she's saying preggers and shit like that. And that's just like a different... The original version I find acceptable. It's like, okay, she's like making a joke like a stand-up comic is like, oh, I got everyone in the front row pregnant, you know, just by. But she's like, oh no, everyone's getting preggers around. It's like, I don't know, it's so modern terminology, and it's so here, because Mushoku Tensei is an isekai too, so I don't even know where she gets that from. I think with this show, I've only said that I don't like English horror.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different feel and a different voice.
Yeah, Ado. I think it's deeper, I think it's as well.
It just doesn't sound right, especially after you get used to Japanese horror. Like, side 1 was the one that I have listed that we didn't have any information on before.
Yeah.
こからコンスコン機動部隊が発進する。ドズル中将は姉のキシリアがシャアを使っていることに反感を持っていた。できることなら自ら木馬を撃ち、シャアの無能さを証明してやりたかった。しかし
That's a harsh change from what you originally thought about the guy.
目的が分からぬ限り、これ以上の兵力を出すわけにはいかない。
I mean, that was before. Well, he did excuse the death of Garen. No, Garen, no. His little brother, so.
そうね、大丈夫だと思うけど、この辺も岩が多いからなんとも。カイ、聞こえて？どう？
異常なし。こっちは足が短いんだ。来やがるぜ。G アーマーはもう少しパトロールを続けます。いいですか？
結構よ。私にとって広報の勉強になるし。
That's a tablet computer? It's like he's tapping on an old-fashioned.
Oh wow, we're pushing this hard, aren't we?
Yeah.
あなた最近フラウボに冷たいでしょ？
そんなことないですよ。
そうかしら。こんな時だからこそ友情って大切。
Yeah, this is.
I didn't note it down, but I was thinking about it when I was rewatching how they seem to be pushing a whole Sayla Amuro thing out of nowhere. And now she's asking, what do you feel about Fra?
Yeah.
Oh, glasses in space inside. That's gotta be horrible.
エンジンは動くな。一応は。
Because I'm certainly more on board with the Fra-Amuro relationship than I am
セイラさん、離れてください。
anything going on with Sayla and Amuro right now.
撃ってきた。
Put
ジオンのモビルアーマーだ。
a pin on that. This is gonna get interesting.
来ますよ。
Well, not interesting. It's. How can I say this without being spoiler?
Well, don't, is what I would say.
Yeah. I think interesting is probably the best word I can use.
妙なモビルアーマーです。ボトルアウトします。岩の後ろへ。
了解。
一気にパワーを上げすぎました。
このブラブロを見られたからに。
Oh, these guys are wearing face. Well, of course they were
Bro,
outside.
bro.
but still. Yeah.
3、2、1。
Eesh.
Moving on from Big Bro to Bra Bro.
All the bros.
あそこか。
This person is also, she feels like she's animated differently.
妙な方向から来ます
Yeah.
よ。気をつけてください。
了解。
It might be just because she doesn't seem to have a faceplate.
うわあ、どっから撃ってくるんだ。
この程度のスピードで。
Hey, they ejected.
Yeah, goodbye, Bra Bro.
Yeah.
ようやく実用化の目処がついたもの。
Man, good thing it didn't.
アムロ、
Apparently.
手間取ったわ。サイド6の領
Although
空
this,
に入る前にホワイトベースへ
I'll say it in my notes because this part is also one of my notes.
Like I said, I think you should hold that off until next episode.
Yeah.
この灯台の内側はサイド6の領空である。ここでは地球連邦軍であろうと
Sorry, in Seed we would call this
一
Orb.
切の戦争行為が禁止されている。
In space. I like the spaces though.
ご苦労様です。サイド6の警察官、カムラン・ブルームです。
You're all under arrest.
ホワイトベースのミサイル発射口、大砲、ビーム砲にこれを封印しました。
Oh, we peacebound
これが
everything
1枚破られますと。
with paper.
わかっています。大変な罰金を払わなければならない。はい。私が聞きたいのは船の修理が。それもサイド6の中ではできません。すべて戦争協力になりますので。ブリッジへご案内しましょ
ねえセイラさん、間違いなくモビルアーマーのいないところからビーム攻撃がありましたよね。
見間違いじゃないわね。
う。わからんのか。
So we've seen the camouflage stuff now.
アムロたちの出会ったモビルアーマー。
No, I mean it was a thing that just spread away and just shot from the other side.
Seemed to me a shot from the darkness, which would imply
Yeah.
space camo.
サイド6パルダベイに入港。各員係留作業用意。
360度レーザーセンサー開放。
未来じゃないか。
カムラ、あなた。
未来。
I've been right beside you the whole time.
未来。
あなたこそ元気で。
誰なんだろう。親戚じゃないの？
カムラン検察官、入港中です。遠慮していただきたい。未来少尉も。
ああ、注意すまない。未来。
Turns into a three-way fight between Cameron, Slegger, and Bright.
Why Slugger?
Oh, because he's a womanizer who's actively put his hands on Mirai three times
that's
now.
Yeah, but
Sometimes the animation of this show really reminds me of old school Johnny Quest.
君の父上が亡くなられなければ戦争だって。
そうね。私がサイドセブン
No. This war was heavily about to start when he was alive.
それなんだ。なぜそれを僕に知らせてくれなかったんだ、未来。君の消息を得るために僕は必死だった。
必死で？
ああ、必死で探させた。いくら費用がかかったか知れないくらいだ。
そう。
Yeah, girlfriends, right? They're always the last place you look.
探してはくださらなかったの？
especially when you pay a lot of money to find them.
結局、親同士の決めた結婚話だったの。
Maybe you should get a rent a girlfriend.
Oh, Mirai and Cameron are Sai and Flay.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, it's literally that was their engagement too.
Yeah.
ちょっと待って。
So that would mean that Mirai is about to sleep with Amuro. Oh look, here's half of the three-way fight, or I guess a third.
それが注意。いいのよ。
Huh? I guess that makes Slegger Kira.
カムラ、大丈夫？
ああ、ご婦人の口説きようがまずいというわけさ。なあ、注意。
そういうことだ。なんせ未来少尉はホワイトベースのおふくろさんなんだからな。
It's gonna be Fraw.
Yeah. Yeah, but he does. He's. I think that was a. He was being like, oh, I'm not gonna say that she's like the hottie of the bridge. It's like, no, listen, she's a lady that we all respect. I think that was the message he's trying to say. Even he got a little handsy with her early on. He's an admiral. Of course he can bully you. And then you walked away. I didn't dismiss you. Yeah, never mind. Bye.
ひどいやけどとかで美男子だとの噂もあります。いつか奴の化けの皮を剥いてみせる。パルダベイ周辺に潜入したリックどもが。
I guess the rumors of his eye radiation condition thing don't spread.
Yeah, I mean, people probably are asking. Everybody's like, why is he wearing this mask? Isn't that a Luna ball mask? Like,
パラルムズ社いいな。それだけで。それ以上は聞くな。極秘事項だ。
fucking ask any question and tell you to do it, bitch.
No, I meant it was in his records back at the academy.
Yeah.
So technically, it should be literally an easy point to look up if you were actually wondering why Char wears a mask.
エレベーターは3000メートル余りを降りて重さを感じることの
3 kilometers down. Look at how big these things are. So, 6 kilometer diameter or 3 kilometer radius.
Well, no, more than that. You're not accounting for the empty space in between.
No, because it's 3 kilometers from the middle all the way to the surface. Actually, more than that, because the surface then to the outer side would be.
Oh, I thought they were saying 3 kilometers from the outer surface to the inner surface.
No.
Because that wouldn't account for the middle spot, the empty.
Yeah.
Hey, be more of a surprise if I didn't see that on the next time on.
Yeah.
Because I've already deleted the question mark.
どうしたのアムロ？
先に戻ってて。ちょっと向こうの本屋に寄ってくるから。
I see porn. How the war would have changed. Amuro got hit by a car.
He got isekai to some other show.
I mean, it just stopped.
He just keeps running.
Throw something at it. You've got set in your pockets, I'm sure.
That's a very slow bus, basically, with no traffic in there, apparently. Or Amuro's a very fast runner.
父さん。おう、アムロか。父さん。ガンダムの戦果はどうだ？順調なのかな？
はい、父さん。
うん、来るがいい。
はい。
You haven't seen your son in how long? And it's like, oh yeah, the Gundam's so good.
ここは
ジャンク屋というところは情報を集めるのに便利なのでな。ここに住み込みをさせて。
It would explain why he's on Site 6 and not anywhere else.
ジオンのモビルスーツの回路を参考に開発した。
こんな古いものを父さん酸素欠乏症にかかって。
How would you know that?
I guess if your dad was a genius before and then he's handing you like a Betamax tape, it's like,
yeah,
something's wrong with my dad.
Wrong. Yeah, but it's very specific, considering that he didn't see his dad going to space. You know, when he got blasted out of this boat that he made.
He might have, and just didn't talk to us about it, the viewer.
You would think that that's something he would remember, you know, in the last 32 episodes.
I'm not saying he doesn't remember. I'm just saying he's not telling us. The narrator doesn't tell us about it.
急げ、お前だって軍人になったんだろうが。
Turns out he wasn't actually oxygen deficient. That was like the highest tech thing he's ever built. Just happens to look really old.
Yeah.
Turned out to be MacGyver when it comes to old shit.
He made the Gundam from like car parts and you know, vacuum tubes.
Well, no, I mean his little upgrade thing there. He found out how to do it all with like old technology. And Amuro just too fucking stupid, didn't recognize.
ペルガミノさん、はい、本当にカムランブルーム検察官の依頼だったんですか？あ、首相官邸からのテレビ電話です。間違いない。
Hey, no smoking on the bridge.
領空の外のドックならジオンの船だろうと連邦のだろうと直させてもらってますよ。我々は追われているんです。大丈夫ですか？なに？私には両方の偉いさんにコネがあります。お嬢さん、安心なさってください。
ありがとう、ペルガミノさん。
Can't wait till he gets his job back in the boxing ring as King Hippo.
スレッガーさん、そのいい子だっていうのやめてくれませんか？
Also, why are you the only one that gets a themed outfit? Slugger, giant S's on his. Also, that didn't make much sense considering this should be in Japanese.
Yeah.
Although I guess he does look the most American of everybody.
Yeah. He's a little slugger. Oh no, those beacons would blind anybody.
進行弾だと。木馬がサイド6の領空を出た合図です。一応確認。エンジン全開。なんでこんなに早く出てきたんだ、木馬め。わかりました。 ペルガミノの浮きドックがあるところです。
ペルガミノ、あの戦争で大儲けをするという。ちょうどいい。我が艦隊は敵と一直線に並ぶわけだ
I
な。
mean, he did say he's got friends on both sides.
Nice, yeah.
He didn't say which side he's actively helping by trying to get you out here.
コンスコンが木馬をキャッチしたのか。
はっ、そうらしいです。リックドンも発進させました。
So like one of the many scenes of Homeworld.
何？
しまった。罠か。私のロックが。
ブライト、カムランはそんな人じゃないわ。面かじいっぱい。
よし、カッキ、展開を急がせろ。
注意、どこから離れてください。そうすれば私のドックは助かります。
やってるでしょう。
I don't know, it's like, it's still in the midst of blowing up.
Yeah.
一つ、次。三つ。
Oh,
There you go, back shot.
yeah. Let's say.
And the flash as well. You saw the little flash, right?
中央の船、撃て。
Oh, there goes that ship.
Or not.
カメルがやられたのか。
Wow.
リックダムの部隊はどうなってるか。
What trickery to not put your ship in the middle. And yet painted a different color.
あれはペルガミノの浮きドックあたりだ。
はい。
なぜジオンに分かったんだ。
戦いをやめさせねばならん。ビームがサイド6の領空に入ってきているのはまずい。
You should probably have labeled your airspace the distance by which the weaponry can travel. That way you'd automatically be sure that no stray hits hit side
Yeah.
6. I'm glad we're at the place where getting hit by a beam saber is just an inconvenience.
I mean, he got hit in the wing, so
Yeah, all that earned him was a "Why you?"
yeah.
9つ。
全滅。12機のリックドムが全滅。3分も経たずにか。はい。
Not so brave now, huh?
I'm more wondering how you're able to sink down in your seat in zero gravity. It's actively you'd be pushing yourself down and then pushing yourself up at the same time.
ザンジバルです。何？
ブライト、サイド6に下がりましょう。
よし、前期に伝えろ。サイド6に逃げ込めと。
しかし、私のドックは、私の。
砲撃はするな。サイド6のパトロール艇だ。コンスコン隊にも砲撃をやめさせろ。パトロール機を傷つけたら国際問題になるぞ。
With who?
Tight 6, I guess.
So fucking what? What are
Well,
they
they
gonna
don't
do?
want to.
Yeah, I understand that, but you're gonna start an international incident. With who? You've destroyed every other side. Is this the stopping point? Why are you worried about this? The only one that's gonna get angry, you're at war with.
大丈夫。封印を破った件は父がもみ消してくれます。だから父の力を借りれば君
My daddy's gonna fix everything.
そうじゃないの。ホワイトベースを捨てる私に、あなたは何をしてくださるの？
だから父に頼んでやるってさっきから僕は。
分かってくださらないのね。 それで私はホワイトベースは捨てられないわ。
未来。昔はそんなことを言う君ではなかった。一体僕に何をしてほしいんだ。
戦争がなければ。けどね、そうじゃないわ。カムラン、あなたは戦争から逃げすぎて変わらなすぎているのよ。
What a horrible thing you've done,
君を愛している
escaping the
気持ち
war.
は変えようがないじゃないか。
ありがとう。嬉しいわ。
I feel like this is a anti-pacifist message.
Yeah.
僕の何が気に
The
入らない
anti-war
か
show
教えてくれ。
is displaying an
As
anti-pacifist message.
You got to take a side or else.
We would prefer if you didn't fight, but if you
But,
do,
yeah,
take a
take a
side.
side and kill as many of the bastards here. Ah,
アムロとシャアの出会いを予告した少女ララ。戦場遠く次の戦いのための目が吹き上がる。いくつかの運命を背負いながらもホワイトベースは敵の待つ宇宙へ出撃する。機動戦士ガンダム次回宿命の出会い。君は生き延びることができるか。
So far.
With
So, as
only-
apparently, as it turns out, the next episode is the episode I talked about a long time ago. We're flicking through TV channels. I saw. I don't remember the whole episode. I just remember like one scene. I want to say, and not for
Well,
nothing,
we s-
I found it
we've
to
seen
be
Lala
very boring, and I didn't watch the rest. So
I mean, we've seen Lala before in Origins.
I don't know how to respond to you that you think you have to tell me that. Me, who
I mean,
controls
also-
the board and everyone's relationships to one another. I would be more surprised if you told me somebody from the board that I didn't remember.
I'm also saying commentary for the people watching as well.
Hmm.
I said we. I didn't say I. I said you. I said we have seen Lala before.
Yeah, but it felt like it was addressed to me. That's fine.
Well, I just.
Remember that I just listened to us have a 25-minute argument multiple times over, so there's something in me that just feels that now.
Okay. I'm sorry you feel that way.
There you go. There's the tone of voice that I remember.
But yeah, this episode. It makes sense to go to side 6. The romance thing is, I feel it. Well, I have notes about it, but I feel like, and I'm probably gonna repeat myself later on, but I think it would have been much better, much sooner, like a setup for who is Mirai and what is she doing here and what she had left behind. Now it's like, well, I have a uniform, you don't, so screw you. I'm out of here. Now, the important thing with Amuro's dad, I think, is that I think he would have been much better off like dead. Because
Well,
basically
that's the
just,
point.
yeah.
That's
What?
that's the point. He would have been better off dead. This is a fate worse
Yeah.
than death, especially for a man so prideful in his own intelligence to, I guess, one, not even recognize that it's not a thing anymore, and two, living basically next to a scrapyard,
Yeah.
just being that guy.
Yeah. Being the crazy guy who just fidgets with stuff.
As for the romance thing, I mean, that's been like hinted at to us for a couple episodes leading up to this. As for the not wearing a uniform thing, I mean, I don't know. They go with the whole this was just an arranged marriage anyway, so it never really mattered. But obviously, Cameron, it mattered to him, and she even indicates that it would have mattered to her had the war not happened, which I guess means she's blaming her dad because that's what everyone seems to be going with. If your dad was still alive, this war wouldn't have happened. Yeah, that's not what Origin says, but.
No, I don't think it's if your dad were alive. She says that she wouldn't have immigrated to side 7.
No, she says that the war didn't happen. That sorry, everyone else says that if her dad was still alive, the war wouldn't have happened. Like, he's so good of a negotiator. So, in a way, we can blame her dad dying as the reason why these two didn't get together, because, again, she indicates that if the war hadn't happened, they probably could have lived a life together, regardless of the arranged marriage for their parents.
Yeah.
Not that I still understand how that works, considering that her dad was a businessman and not, like, I don't know. Cameron's dad feels like he's being indicated towards, like, landed nobility, in that
I
he,
think
like,
he's supposed to be
commands
the
the
prime
whole...
minister.
Yeah, but I'm saying we don't have any indication of that. All we see is that he runs the station. Like, there's no sense of Side 6's government.
No, they do mention the prime minister.
No, I'm saying they don't indicate what it's like here. We spend so much time with, like, Side 3 and what Munzo is all about. And then in Origin, finding out how things come to pass. And this is the only remaining station, so... Well, I guess technically I don't know if Side 7 is still around or not. And accepting for Munzo. I don't know. It's a weird episode. Like, nothing really happens here other than we got some free time away from the fight to then go back into the fight.
Also, the opening fight also reminds me of the opening fight of the last episode. Like, again, it seemed to be like, oh, we're going to introduce this mobile armor. We're going to have a fight. Why?
We got toys to sell.
Reasons. We had time to fill. We got 22 minutes.
Clover's pushing us to sell more toys. Not that that's going to work out for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At least not in the immediate future.
Well, no. It doesn't work at all for them.
Yeah.
Bandai coming back around and doing everything is what saves everything. As far as I know, Clover doesn't... well, I don't actually know much about Clover's company. I thought they went under, but I might just be making that up.
I think they got bought out by Bandai. Game Bandai Sunrise.
I don't know. There's a company still called Clover Toys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, except for this wiki article that says uses the word was the second. Found 1973. Original sponsor, Gundam. There's like no information on this thing. There's like 2 paragraphs of nothing.
Yeah.
Folded in 1983. They had tried to adapt to the new marketing by sponsoring shows such as 3 shows I've never heard of.
And Mobile Suit Gundam.
No, I'm talking about after. They failed on the Gundam thing, and they tried changing everything by sponsoring other shows. Zabungle, Dubine, which are also those 2 were directed by Tamino, and Srungle? Real made-up sounding words. I know all words are made up, but those are real made-up sounding words. But they folded in 1983, so, yeah. As per, Clover did not do anything out of this.
Yeah. There you go. So any more thoughts?
Sorry. Gundam ended up being very popular after it was re-edited into a film trilogy, but Clover's toys were still not a hit. To be fair, I'm looking at their toys, and they look like Cylons. Like, I don't remember when old school Battlestar Galactica came out. 1980s? Late 1980s?
Oh, 1970s.
$1978, yeah. Well, that's ironic, because they should have sold Battlestar Galactica toys right after that. Because their original in-packaging Zaku's look like silver Zaku's, which kind of look like Cylons.
Yeah, those look very cheap. Extremely cheap.
Well, 1970s toys.
Yeah, instead it was, this is from Wikipedia, instead it was Bandai who capitalized on the show by selling model kits that became extremely popular. Gundam had started the real robot trend, which changed the focus to realistic robots instead of the super robot, which Clover were used to making. They tried to adapt to the new market by sponsoring Zabungle and Dunbine. I heard about Dunbine. Our Battler Dunbine. I've heard about it. I haven't seen it, but it's I heard about it. Zabongo, I have no idea what the Zabongo is supposed to be. Or Strungle.
Yeah, I mean, we were reading the same article.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fantasy giant robot thingy, basically.
Well,
Anyway,
I guess that is it for this episode.
yeah,
All right. Well,
Pretty
once
much.
again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?